and a pair of pliers, channel locks. Vice grips actually. And when I think I got the hole where I take that little needle and punch it in and make sure it hits a 2x4, and then I'll move it over about a half inch and see if it goes in. And that way I kind of know where the center of that 2x4 is. And you got a little bitty hole that you can't hardly see.
Exactly.
Rather than a big screwdriver hole or a screw hole.
Yeah, that's what we was doing. We was using drill bits and just putting holes in there and be like, it was like a shitty...
With the drill in the bit. And we use that big drill bit.
Yeah.
It's that big round. Quarter size.
It was like a shitty game of Battleship. It was like, fuck, missed. Missed. Got it, hit me.
Yep. It's like a whole line, like 11 holes. Hole here, hole here, hole here. Finally hit it down here to 11. You can tell when we hit it because it stopped right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I ask you, I said, we need to even this out. Make some more holes on this other side of it.
Yeah.
You just got to get a bigger picture to cover it up.
That's what I got. Yep. As soon as that TV comes down, that's what we're going to do. Just get a big picture put up there. Probably a...
picture of a walrus or something like that.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then we're going to mount it so tight that you ain't taking that off.
Yeah, it'd be part of the wall then.
Yeah. Hell, we might just cut that piece of wall out and mount it
just
flush.
Put a picture in there, so it's flush with the wall.
Yeah, or get one of those big. What do they have? They're like a picture of Bigfoot laying down posing sexually or whatever. Just put
hey, what you do in your that's between you and the wife.
Hey,
there comes that little wild engine.
We busy. You stay out there now. Hey, hush. Ho. No. You
missed your chance.
Yeah.
I didn't come in and walk right by you, and you didn't know a thing happened.
Yeah, you sleep. Just sit out there, and he finna poop right there on that rug.
Do dog stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, so apparently I've been pretty busy.
Apparently, you ain't got no camera set up.
I ain't got no camera set up, no lights.
He hadn't been that busy, has he?
Hell, I ain't even put out the damn last one we did because...
Wasn't that funny?
No, it was fine. Well, one of the last ones we did was not that funny. It was one where I didn't talk a lot.
Yeah, we remember that.
I'm not saying you guys didn't.
There we go. I know, we know our place now, so we'll shut up and let you go.
I'm not saying you didn't carry it, but...
what we're saying is you talk, we'll laugh every once in a while, if that's the way we're going to roll.
Well, I want you to laugh organically, not... organically.
There you go, back that sexual stuff again.
Yeah. What was I doing that... Shit, I was going to tell y'all something and I forgot. I think I have dementia.
How do you know if you got dementia?
You got what?
Yeah, I was hoping some doctor would tell me, but they're like, hey, we got to put this helmet on you and you got to do a brain scan. And I'm like, nah, dog, I ain't doing all that.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Nah.
I'm over the helmet part.
Yeah, if you want me to put a helmet on, you better be paying millions of dollars a year, or at least hundreds of thousands. I'm not putting a
Throw
helmet.
me some kind of ball.
If I put that helmet on, people are going to be like, someone's going to snap a picture.
Oh, yeah.
We would. If we
gotta
would,
get the camera out.
if we was there.
Look at this
Plus,
fella
I ain't sure they got a helmet that big.
No.
When you think about it, they're going to put a little helmet on you, and it's going to be squeezing your head and your chin and all that ain't going to make it to the helmet. It's going to be hanging out the bottom.
It's going to look like
the crossbar's going to be right in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to fit.
I'm going to look like a very Jewish version of that guy from Star Trek, black dude who had the thing on his eyes. He couldn't see nothing. Yeah, that's what it's going to look like because it's going to be a yarmulke with a thing over my eyes.
Yamaha motorcycle.
Yeah. How did they go from making? They made cars, didn't they?
I think they made some. I don't know if they still do or not.
No, they don't. But they made motorcycles, and they also make pianos. They just got random ass people
and electronic. Stereo equipment too.
Yeah. They just decided, hey, you know what? Let's just start making shit.
We're just going to start making shit.
But did they start with that little hat?
That was probably in Israel. But they were like, or in the Bible or whatever. But they were like, hey, what are you good at? And he's like, I love listening to music. And like, well, that's not helpful. What, can you play something? He's like, well, piano. He's like, could you make one? And they're like, mm-hmm. It's like, what are you good at? He's like, I love dirt bikes. And they're like, this is Korea. What the fuck are you talking about? We don't have dirt bikes over here. And he's like, well, they're like little motorcycles that you can ride off-road. And he's like, okay, can you make one? He's like, sure, yeah. And then they looked at the other fella, and he's like, what do you like? He's like, I really like listening to music, just like the other guy. And he's like, well, God dang it, just make some speakers or something. And then there they went.
There they go.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second. You didn't say, or the little guy say, what do you like? I like to wear a little thing on my head right here.
Yeah, I like little hats.
Can you make one? Well, I don't know.
Can you cut out a circle and pin it to your head?
What I'm going to need is a needle and some vice grips.
Yeah. I like how and I don't know, I mean, I've only met a few actual
People?
practicing Jewish men.
Practicing?
Yep. It's just like doctors. Like, when the hell are you going? You went
practice
to school for
you
10
practice
years,
Jewing.
and you ain't professional yet. Like, you
Hold
ain't
up
gonna
a
make
minute. You're just gonna blow over this. You have to practice to be Jewing.
I think you have to. I think it's more so.
I thought you just like when you was born, you just started right then.
Some of them do.
The people convert. Like J.D. Vance is a converted Catholicist.
Yeah, some people can change over time. Kind of like, guys with
Transgender.
wiener dudes playing girl sports. You know what I'm talking about? Speaking of which, have y'all seen the ad on? I know we've talked about this before. People probably hadn't heard it because I probably hadn't put out the episode. Hey, we're doing shit. Quit putting your face.
It's people stuff,
on
boy.
the
It's just
glass.
people
What are
stuff.
you doing?
You don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, and but there's all kind of commercials now for like age drugs and stuff like that.
I hit the go back button just as soon as it comes up.
Yeah,
Well, I forget what the line.
You go back
is
and watch
now.
it again.
No, go back to the other channel. I was on.
I started to say, hold on.
I saw one the other day, and it was this. They're all the same. They all have like 2 or 3 different people, and they're all like different scenarios. Well, there was one fella who was like shooting basketball, and then there was one guy who was eating at a restaurant, on a date or whatever, and then there was one guy who was having like a picnic in the park by himself with a dog.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Hey, do you experience? I forget what the Peyronie's disease.
Oh, Verone's disease is what we call it.
There we go. Because and they were like, if you have these problems, then you should consider Mustafner or whatever the drug's called."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Well, what the hell is this even about?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then in the middle of the commercial, they explain what Peyronie's disease was, and basically it means you got a curved wiener. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "What?"
You pee around corners.
Yeah. I was like, "What the hell are we talking about, dude?"
Right here on national TV.
Yeah.
And they got, if you watch enough of them commercials, like being retired, I watch a lot of TV. They got diseases that you have never.
And yeah, that here's one that blows my mind. That wet AMD.
Yeah.
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 So, hey, get a towel. How about that?
Yeah. I'd rather have the dry AMD.
Yeah.
instead of the wet.
And listen, if you and your boyfriend gonna sit on the couch, getting ready to watch a movie, and you put your arm around him, his fat ass. Look, get to the Ozempic commercial. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to see y'all.
And all this stuff is, I guess 98% of it is probably by prescription only.
Oh, yeah.
So telling me about it ain't
Yeah,
working.
I ain't
You
got
need
no
to tell my
prescription.
doctor about
Yeah.
it. So he can prescribe it to me.
That's what we need. Start channel only for doctors.
Yeah, ask
and
your-
make them watch all these commercials.
Ask your doctor.
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to go in the doctor's office with a dang 14 pages of, "Hey, doc, what about this? What about this?
Yep.
What about this?"
Yeah.
Well, you don't need that. Well, they said ask your
That's
doctor.
it. That's what I told mine.
And oh, by the way, I'm not pregnant.
Yeah.
It always says be sure and tell your doctor if you're going to be pregnant. No, well, I'm not.
I just went to the doctor Thursday.
You tell him you wasn't pregnant?
Yeah. Well, I went in there. And I told him, I said, "Listen, I'm fine as far as I know." I said, "But this thing, on my chart, that little thing you wrote about me on my chart, about me,
It
about
ain't
me-
true."
about me being obese." I said, "That's a damn lie."
Yeah. You're out here talking shit.
Well, anytime you BMI, and I said,
Yeah.
I don't know about how many times I go to the bathroom, nothing like that. I don't care about that. What I'm wanting to know is why you call me obese.
Right.
I said, because I asked the people around me. I said, am I obese? And they said, are you what? And I said, obese. They said, no. I said, well, my damn doctor's lying about me.
See, he's still practicing.
Well,
he ain't a
it's
professional
well,
yet.
it's a she. And listen.
Well, there you
And
go.
she's about
There-
5'2", about 63 pounds. And I told her, I said, well, looking at me and looking at you, I would believe I'm obese, but I'm not.
Right.
You just unbeast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I go to that same doctor. Well, when I can, because you can't get a goddamn appointment. And also, I'm not going to the doctor no more. Fuck a doctor. It's horseshit. It's all they're like, oh, you need this.
Prescribe
you
you something.
that. Yeah.
Well, it takes all my time up asking about all, like you said, asking about all these lists I got here. And they said to ask you. I said, well, all right, I'll ask them when I get there. And so.
Yeah, I'm not going back. First time I went there, she looked at my wiener, and I was like, I'm here for a cold.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if we should be doing this. Like, and I was like, she was like, you have any other issues? I was like, yeah, my knee hurts. And she was like, well, let me see it.
I got Veroni disease.
Yeah, she said, let me see it. I said, well, I mean, I got to take my pants down. She said, no, not your knee. I said, well, is this a real doctor's office? Or
Well, I did the same thing. I went and I said, I need some help. They said, well, drop your pants. I said, what?
Yeah.
Drop your pants. I said, listen, I got a toothache. You a dentist. What? What's up? I mean,
you know what's crazy?
I didn't go back to that.
I've been to the doctor a few times in the last
11 years.
Well, no. Yes. Before the beginning of last year, I had been to the doctor one time in the previous 10 years. And that was because I had an issue near my butthole and I didn't know how to fix it. And so,
well, I mean, hold up a minute.
No, let's move on. Let's move on.
I gotta know about that.
No, let's move on.
First of all, did you have to go through the yellow pages and find butthole doctor? Did you find one? It's specialized in buttholes.
no, I just went to the regular doctor.
Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't find no specialist then, did you?
No, I didn't
Need one?
Well, I didn't want to go to a doctor anyway, but I was like, hey man, and I've told this story, but like, hey man, I got something going on in my, area, and I need you to take a peek
Is that what y'all called it, the area?
I said, and
He said, drop your pants,
in
didn't
my
he?
back, my back door region, and he said, well, let's take a look at it, and I said, I don't want it.
It's a screen door.
Yeah. I said, I don't want to make it weird. And he's like, the more you talk about it, the weirder it gets.
Well, wait a minute. I don't want to make it weird. Hold on. I had to go through the yellow pages and find butthole doctors, and I found you. And you don't think that's weird?
So that was probably, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago. Then I
And
finally...
you got an appointment every 3 months.
No. Then I finally got established
You know what you
with
could do?
your
You
doctor.
go by Lowe's and see if Jerry's in there on Tuesday morning.
No, I ain't letting a retard look at my butthole, dude. Because
I don't think Jerry's retarded. I think Jerry he got that.
No, he's retarded.
No, he's got that other disease that makes him. No, it's that Down disease. Getting Down disease.
Low disease.
Low disease. That's right.
That's why he's hanging out Lowe's.
Yeah.
So I went there and then go to this doctor, finally get established and get an appointment after 6 months. And she's like, well, let me look at, your wiener. And I was like, you called it a wiener? I thought this is a medical term for it, I think.
Yeah, it is a medical term for it.
Then I go to the next doctor for the arthritis part, and she's like, well, let me look at your butt crack. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what are y'all
Everybody wants me
doing?
to drop my drawers.
Yeah, I know I'm a big guy. I know I'm tall. It's not impressive. Like, calm down. Like, I'm not here for show. You know what I'm saying? But... So I decided I'm not going back to the doctor because they're not being helpful at all. They're just fucking around and looking at my wiener and shit. And
that's what I told her when I went Thursday. I said, listen, as a nurse comes in there and she says, get up on that scale. I said, that's a lying scale, first of all. Right there.
It says I'm obese.
Every time I've been here, it lied against me. She said, well, get up here anyway. I said, all right. So I got up here and took my weight. I said,
Is it one at a time?
See, that's what I told her. See? So she took me back there and she said,
Drop your drawers.
well, she said, drop your jaw. I said, hold on. You're not my doctor. She said, well, I'm not a doctor. I'm a nurse. I said, you want me to drop my drawers and you the nurse?
yeah, well, what are you doing?
We like to see what's going on. I said, I ain't doing that. I don't even like doing it in front of the doctor. Now you want me to drop my drawers in here.
Yeah.
I said, last time I did that, I didn't question that. I dropped my drawers, and I heard y'all, all them nurses in back there whispering a while ago, and I said, I ain't doing that.
And giggling. They're giggling.
And
You know
carrying
what?
on.
That's a very good point that you made because there's only 2 professions where you can literally walk into a facility or a room and it be acceptable for them to say, all right, well, drop your pants.
Yeah.
And that's doctors and prostituting.
Oh.
And they both charge a fuck ton of money. And
and you speaking from experience on this, right?
and I ain't in there long.
and insurance ain't covered one of them. Hell, they ain't even covered my damn CPAP machine I get on Tuesday. I'm very excited. I
Hold on, you getting a what?
CPAP, one of those things that helps you breathe during the night, because I think I've passed away about 4 times. And the Lord's like,
Got
not
revive
yet.
you?
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Said, ain't your turn?
Yeah. He's like, no.
Get in line. Get in line
Just
back
go back.
there.
Just wake up for a second. Go back
So,
to sleep.
so you got to put this thing on your face.
Yeah, and I told the doctor, I said, I can't. Here's the deal. I appreciate you helping me get this, but I refuse to cut off my beard. I said,
Oh, I thought you. I refused to cut off my. I didn't know what you was gonna say. So
I said because I'll look like a humongous baby without facial hair because I don't have any head hair.
So
anyway.
this is at the face doctor.
No, this is at the sleep doctor. Apparently, it's a lung doctor who also specializes in telling you how to sleep better.
When you went in, did he say drop drawers?
Luckily, he did not. He is a
Proctologist.
yeah.
But old doctor.
That's what I was looking for.
He's the third one down the yellow pages.
That's what I'm gonna have to.
Butthole doctor.
Yeah, if you're gonna look at the yellow pages still, you got to go far down and just find one that'll cut you a discount. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, we ain't gonna charge you insurance. I already seen your butthole. Just give me $40, get out of here. I'm like, okay, But this guy's a Oriental fella, and he is he was wearing fancy shoes the first time I went in, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna joke around because I do that with everybody. I don't give a damn how fancy.
And he was what kind of fella?
He's from Asia,
Really?
some part. Not sure which. I didn't ask.
North Korea,
I
probably.
want to ask you about that before you go on.
Yeah.
Now, when you're from Asia, like when you write in your return address, is that what you just put Asia on there? Is that all
No, you have
put?
an actual address in like a country, just like we have. But
I thought Asia was a country.
It's a continent, right?
Yes.
All right.
So in other words,
There
you
we
can't just put Asia on your return address.
I don't think so.
Does all of Asia have one zip code, or you got more than one?
Oh my God! I bet every person there has their own zip code. I bet they don't even have zip code. I bet you just if you want
I
to mail
saw
something.
a story one time. A guy was from, I don't remember if it was like New Zealand or Australia or somewhere off way over in there, and their address took 3 pages to write. Mm-hmm. All kind of numbers and sort of like zip code type information. I mean, it was a.
What the hell was it?
I don't remember. They were just doing about how you. I don't know if it's a story on the post office or how it came
You
up.
weren't trying to read Braille or nothing like that, was you?
I might have been, but this guy had to write his name and all these. I mean, it was a whole bunch of shit just to get a letter to his house.
I wonder if you could just write a letter and put it in the. Well, the post office you're gonna have to UPS a letter over there, I think, or something. Maybe just send a fucking email. Don't write an actual letter. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this was back before email.
Okay.
This was years ago.
I wonder if you could just put like, oh, Tom Smith lives in Australia near kangaroos.
Yeah.
Get it to him.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Asia's pretty big. What'd you say it was? Continent.
Yeah, there's
Asia's pretty big continent. So I don't know. Like over there, that's not China, is it?
yeah.
Oh, it is China.
Well, it's
Asia's China.
Well, yeah, basically.
So, like, if you got a guy and his name like Zupin or something like that, could you just put that on the front of the envelope, Zupin, and just put Asia down there and he'd get it? You reckon?
You might want to put China if you know he's in China. So that way they don't have to go through Mongolia, and Korea, and Japan.
Tibet.
They just go straight to China and say, "Hey, Zoo."
Well, what if he lived in Asia? So.
Well, he does.
Well, he knows.
But he's also
I don't
lives
even
in
know
China.
Zupans. And hell, you tell me about his whole life story.
You do know Zupan. Zupan man, the Zupan dog.
Yeah, I remember him.
Oh yeah.
leaner.
What was?
Leaner dog.
No,
Yeah.
we talking about Ray Stevens. Yeah.
Hey.
And that fucker still ain't called us back. Piece of shit. I'm just saying.
Well, hey, listen. We sent him a letter that said Ray Stevens, Asia on it. So what do you expect?
That's a good point. Yeah.
They still hunting for him over there.
Yeah. And that's why the Indian fuckers keep calling me, which is a good story because this happened last week. I was out of work one day sick, and I was just cruising around, and
Hold up. You was out of work
being
sick, just cruising around.
Being
huh?
sick, yeah.
yeah. Well, that was the hey. Don't lick the window, dude.
Get your tongue off the window.
I felt better, and they were like, nah, just stay home for the rest of the day. I was like, okay. And so I was riding around, and I got a phone call.
You didn't stay home?
No. I stayed near home. I got a email. It was like, hey, we charged your card $500 for computer security services. And I was like, seems odd. Don't have a computer. And don't have security on it. So.
And don't want any kind of service.
Yeah.
Well, except for the butthole doctor.
Got him on retainer.
So I got him on speed dial. I decided, you know what? Let me call him and see about this. Because I knew it was fraudulent, And so I called and I was like, hey, I called him and I was like, hey, I just got an email said you charged my card for, security services and for my computer, and I just wanted to see which card you charged to make sure I had enough money in there. Quit it. And they're like, oh, well, we can't tell you. And I said, it's my card, and you charged it, so you can't.
Somebody got to break out something here sooner or later.
Okay. I think we're back. I think we're good. Y'all good on there?
We ain't listening. We talking about Earl's bouncy house.
Yep. Earl, you got a bounce house.
You got a bounce house. We're going to jump and jump a lean.
Yep.
You got it blown up and everything, or it's just still on the ground?
Well, it's just kind of laying there. You can jump on it still.
You jump on it now, or you can wait and have fun later. Do it right now. It's probably going to hurt them knees.
Is this for your 70th birthday? Is that what that's for?
80th.
80th. So you tell us about this magic carpet ride you were going to tell us about.
So I was traveling, and I stopped at a rest area to poop. Yeah. And got back in the car, and I was like, well, let me knock out some of these emails real quick. So I'm not trying to do that while I'm driving 80 miles an hour down the road.
Good idea.
And car pulls up next to me. The whole front end's ripped off this car. It's a Nissan Rogue or some dumb shit like that. And it ain't got no front bumper. The hood's all crumpled. And I'm like, well, and then this fella gets out of it. And he has on a long tunic. Like a big shirt.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like a muumuu or whatever,
What?
And
I didn't even know you spoke Chinese. What are you talking about? A tunic and a muumuu?
So
I ain't got a clue what you talking about.
He's got pants on, but he also has a very long shirt that goes down to like his knees. And I'm like, this is odd because he looks extremely white. I'm like, well, you know what? Let's see how this goes. So I put my phone down. Should have took a picture. I might have. I don't remember. But he goes to the passenger seat and gets out a
gun.
A carpet, like a piece of rug or whatever, or like a blanket or something. And he puts it on the ground beside his car, between mine and his car, and he kneels down there and he starts doing his
surfing.
Meditations or prayers or whatever.
Oh. And
I thought, man, I ain't never really seen this in person, And then I realized, he's doing Muslim stuff. And I'm like,
Muslim stuff. So
I sat there for 30 minutes. And apparently you have to, I think if you're doing Muslim stuff, you have to pray like 30 minutes out of every hour or something. So you really ain't getting shit done.
No.
You're not getting anywhere.
You're just getting ready or just finished praying.
Yeah, a 2-hour car ride is going to take you 16 hours because you got to stop every 30 and do prayers.
And get that carpet out.
Yeah.
Vacuum it and make sure it's clean. All that.
Yeah.
Pointed toward the east,
Mecca.
west, Bakersville.
He had stains on his carpet, so I don't know if he.
Oh, well.
He might have been using it for something.
He one of them dirty Muslims, then, ain't he?
I don't even know if it's Muslim. I think it was either that or he was like casting spells and doing wizardry,
And you watched?
Mm-hmm. Mm. And when he turned to face my car, I left.
No.
Don't put a spell on me here. I got shit
to
do.
I'm driving 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm busy. So, but yeah, I saw that and I was like, dang, this is, if that's what he believes, that's cool for him, But also maybe don't run into something and rip off the front of your car. You know, maybe
at one point he was trying to do that while driving.
Yeah, and then it
or it was 35 minutes. He said, "Oh shit, I got to pull over." He pulls over.
Yeah,
you know,
slams into
hits a tree.
something. Yeah, and but then he got up and started doing like stretches, like he was going to do karate or something. And I was like, I think he's just making up his own thing. Like he's not really. I don't know. But yeah, I saw that. That was pretty unique. And then I saw a fella. I went to the food line one morning to get some groceries, and there was a
seagull.
No, that's over at the Staples.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be over at the Kmart, but y'all remember Kmart? Mm-hmm. I convinced some fella one time that we should go buy beer at the Kmart.
It wasn't in a Kmart. It was right outside the beach place down at the beach. Wasn't it like one of the last?
You called it the beach place down at the beach.
We had it.
What the hell are you talking about, Earl? The beach place down at the beach.
The place where we stayed.
Oh, you're talking about Rose's.
That's right, Roses.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Roses,
I'm distracted.
Rose's been gone longer than Kmart, had it?
Yeah, but I just remember there was something. It was still one store left, and that was it.
And then you ask us.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember.
Let me ask you a question. You said down at the beach stuff. Well, that's a big beach, Earl. And second of all, when you get down to the beach, you can't see what's shit. I reckon you're going blind.
True.
Oh, now that is something
that's pure gold right there, Earl.
Yeah. When we're watching, I was watching the golf video the other day, and there's a whole compilation of you just saying, I ain't seen shit. I reckon I'm going blind.
Golf course.
We
That's
was
what he's
playing
talking.
golf.
Well, it's the same way with baseball game the other day I went to, last Saturday, matter of fact. They hit the ball, and I can't see it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going blind. I
Well,
don't know where the ball is.
Me and Dad were playing golf this past week, and he's like, "Where'd it go?" I said, "Hell, I can't see shit. I reckon I'm going blind."
All right, well, I got to get on my edge of the seat because you're talking about traveling.
Yeah.
I got to tell you what happened to me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You ain't going to believe this one.
Uh-oh, now he's gone. He's getting
Well, I got to
up.
get up here so I can tell you because a lot of stuff went on. Okay?
Oh shit.
So you know that I drive a truck.
Yep.
Now, don't get excited. I ain't no truck driver. I ain't one of them. But I drive a truck in my daily life, And I drive a lot. I got a 2000 and I don't know what, 18, 19, 20 truck. It's got 160,000 miles. Or I drive a lot, or I go a lot of places. Well, when you travel as much as I do, you're
going to see things.
You're going to see all kind of things. Especially you get on the other side of Spartanburg over there near the diner.
Near the diner.
You liable to see all kind of stuff over there. But that's not what happened. But I was on an extended trip. And I said, well, let me get me a little RC Cola and a moon pie, but you don't know what that is. It's, so you'll understand it's some of them cheese crackers and a Coke. That's easier for y'all. But anyway.
Bus opens.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, I'm traveling down I-85 at about 79 miles an hour, and you know how sometimes it'll hit you,
You got to poop.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Something's
too late.
happening.
Now wait just. I ain't been gone about 3 hours from home, and I pooped this morning. I know I did. So now what's all this going on? And sure enough, the more I travel, I'm thinking, I can't be, So now I'm getting a little prairie dog going on.
Oh damn.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no. I said, this can't be right. I said, no.
And he kept saying, yes.
Yeah. You shit yourself? He's out. We lost him.
Oh.
He can't.
Not yet. So anyway, I'm going down through there, and Now, see, the reason this is so funny is because everybody been in this situation.
Yeah.
Especially when you get older and you get in this situation. Well, so you done learned you better do something.
Yeah. Something has to happen now, or something's gonna happen.
That's right. You know, either you. That's what I'm doing. I'm praying. Oh Lord, take this Holy Spirit out of me. I don't need this right now. I can't do this.
He was trying to come out.
And sure enough, still prairie dogging this hard, and no. I said, oh shit, now what am I going to do? So now I done started looking for a place to go to the bathroom, but I got to find something quick. And I'm going down 85 at 79 miles an hour, so I think, and I'm in my mind, it's racing in my mind now. I'm coming up on what exit? What's on that exit? So I know what, and so I said, oh man, on exit 79 up here, there's a QT. That's where I'm going.
There we
go.
go.
I can go.
Yep.
So I slamming in that QT, get in there and go, and then go in there, and there's 2 stalls in there, and both doors are shut. So I said, this ain't good. You
looked over at the sink, didn't you?
So I hope ain't a lot of people in here. That urinal's
Empty for now.
I said, let me think how tall I am, and can I back up? I'm thinking, oh no, you can't do this in the QT, you know. And I'm thinking maybe one of them fellas gonna come out pretty quick. No, I'm staying there. So now I'm acting like I'm going over there to pee because people coming in and out. I don't want to be standing there looking like this, like that, holding on. I stand over like I'm peeing over there because I don't want somebody at me. You're right. You know, I ain't doing that.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing well.
And all the time while I'm doing this fake peeing, I'm thinking, let me see how high this urinal is. If they're clear out of here, I could back up to that urinal. And I said, no, hell no, run. So I run, get back in the truck, and say, now what are you going to do? Well, across over there's a, I don't know what kind of,
Holiday Inn.
No, it's one of them love truck stops. Something like that. I don't want to go in trucks. No, I can't do it. I don't go in. It ain't clean. I'm going right over there as hard as I can. Go there, and you know, luckily I got to go out and I got to go to the main highway, turn left, and then go up a little bit and turn right back in there. And I'm thinking, I'm at this red light, and I'm praying to, oh, dear Lord, please let this turn green, Lord. In the next 1 second, let it please turn green. Because now it's still prairie dogging hard now.
Yeah.
They looking out, you know. Somebody is coming out. I said, oh, no, what am I going to do? So finally it turns, and I go sideways through there and get up on the highway and turn in there. And now I'm penguin walking, you know, because you have to. Because now, you know, well, I'm thinking to myself, can I not make it 9 more feet?
Right.
I don't think I can.
Sometimes you can.
Just 9 feet. Well, I don't, because it was 9 feet back at the QT is what it was. Now it's a bunch more than 9 feet. So I'm sitting there in the truck saying, and you know what I'm talking about? I can't get out. First of all, I don't have full control of myself right now.
Yeah.
You know, so
Something's got a hold on me.
Yeah. So if I was to step out, and, you know, it caused a mudslide right there.
Oh.
I mean, you know. So now I'm thinking, well, you gonna take the chance? And I'm thinking, oh Lord, please, just get me somewhere. And now I'm still sitting in the truck, and I'm thinking, well, this is somewhere. And I said, no, you can't do that because you just it'd be a mess. You can't.
I got to drive this later.
Well, and I'm thinking, well, you got to work them 9 feet out. And I think, so I opened the door and I put my foot out of the truck. And it's like stepping on lava, I guess. I put my toe down. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Put a little bit more weight on it to get my toe. Oh, I'm out. Shut the door. Now I'm penguin walking up there like that right there. And I said, this ain't good. Right there. Lock truck and lock truck. Oh Lord, just let me get in here. Now I'm hurting. You know, I'm thinking now it ain't 9 feet, it's 6 feet. You know, but that's a long 6 feet. Yeah, it's 6 feet. And I'm thinking, Lord, what am I gonna do right through here? So I ease in that, pull that door open, and I'm like this right here. oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. So I eased about 3 more feet. And I said, where's, there's a sign that says restrooms that way. So I take a right down this little hall, and I go in that door there, and I said, oh, if I got 1 foot to make it. And I slammed down I didn't even undo my belt. I didn't even undo my bridge. I slid them down over my hips. I didn't even have time.
Yeah.
I couldn't, that 7 more seconds, I couldn't stand it.
Nope.
You know. So I slammed them down there in the floor. I said, oh man, and I sit down. Oh, it's a relief. I'm thinking, oh Lord, you helped me make it just one time.
Did you say there was an old man in there?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
So what I'm doing, me?
Oh,
I was old man. I'm sitting there. I'm like this. I said, oh, thank you, Lord, for helping me make it in here. And I'm saying, oh, God, it feels good. And about that time, a roach crawls over my foot. I'm thinking, oh, shit. And the roach won't go on. So now I am sitting there toilet, and this roach is staring up at me, and I'm looking down at him. I said, get out of here. I ain't done yet. Oh, Lord, thank you for helping me make it. Get out of here, roach. And I reach down. I'm going to slap back. Right when I do, I fall out on the floor right there. And think about it, when I went in, I didn't shut that thing behind me. I mean, I did shut it, but I didn't lock it. So the door's open, and I hit that door, and I fall out and through the door out there in the floor. So half of me, my ass part is in the stall, and my other head part and all this laying out in the floor, you know, so I'm half in and half out. And I'm laying there in the floor, and I look up, and I promise you, there's a 83-year-old woman looking at me, and there's a nun looking at me, and there's about a 17-year-old girl looking at me. And I'm in the floor looking up to them like that right there, and then this other lady comes in, and I see the door, and it says, ladies on it. I'm thinking, Lord, you have brought me in the wrong bathroom. You let me get here, but you brought me in the wrong bathroom. Now there's 4 women staring at my ass while I'm in here trying to get up with a roach on my foot. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. So I said, looked around like that right there. I said, I got to go. So I stood up, pulled that door shut, did my business, wiping my ass out, pulled my britches back up, eased out there, and all 4 of them look at me like that, staring at me like that right there. So now I gotta get back in my truck, and it's got all kind of signs on it telling where I'm from, I'm thinking, Lord, please don't let nobody call the office and tell them that I've been in the women's bathroom here perverting. And as far as I know, nobody did. So
Well, there you go.
yeah,
You
So,
made it.
Yeah, well, see, that was my whole thing. I made it. Because I thought if I didn't make it, what was I going to do?
We know what you're going to do.
Well, I don't know what I was going to do, but I was going to have to clean up the best I could, then drive back all the way on 85 doing 79 miles an hour, half naked.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that because they would have, somebody called and said, you're driver perverting somewhere. And I said,
Yeah.
I don't want that. So
No. You had to go. That's
Well,
what happens.
when you have to go,
You
you
gotta
have
go.
to go.
Yeah.
You
Trust
can't
me.
play around.
Listen, I've done it numerous times, and the most recent one was about
This morning.
45 minutes ago.
But I've caught myself doing this. I turn down the radio so I can see better
Yeah.
and concentrate more on getting there.
Yep.
I've done that many times.
You got to cut the radio off, cut the heat on.
Yeah.
Don't matter
yeah.
how hot it is outside. You got to warm up a little bit because you start to get a cold sweat. Now, listen, if somebody in there knows about pooping,
Yeah.
it's your boy. Apparently, it's all of us.
Yeah, apparently it runs in the family.
But there ain't no worse feeling than going and being in that situation and going in and all the doors are closed.
Yeah.
You know, because I wasn't in the position then that I could bend down and look under there and make sure somebody was in there.
Yeah.
Because if I'd have been down, I ain't no telling what would have happened then.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to be careful.
You just shot that thing across the room like a damn torpedo.
Put somebody's eye out. I
Yeah.
couldn't do that.
A shit torpedo.
Yeah. So anyway, I made it, and I was glad I did. I thank the good Lord for helping me make it. And I apologize to that, especially that little nun lady. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, she's, you know how them nuns are. They ain't seen no man half naked in ever, probably.
Right.
Long time.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that little 16-year-old girl. She kind of smiled at me a little bit, like how they do. But she had one of them things in her tongue, one of them hookups in her tongue. You know what I'm talking about? Bridal part in her tongue. And then them 2 old ladies. I think it was just a thrill for them to get to see a man. So
it all worked out.
Yeah.
For the most
all
part,
good.
yeah.
And I was glad.
Oh, I can imagine you'd be glad.
Yeah.
But I was nervous there for a good 43 minutes.
Yeah.
Because once it started, once it starts, you the bravest person in the whole world. Then I can do anything. And then when it gets down toward the end, you're thinking, Lord, and you talking, please, Lord, help me make it to the bathroom. And I'm thinking, I'm thinking after I got out of there, I'm thinking, good Lord, I don't think it's on his priority list to get you to a bathroom.
Yeah,
I don't think you on your own there because you knew 43 minutes ago you're gonna have to go.
Yeah, you should have planned
What'd you
accordingly.
do? No, you kept on. You tempting fate. Go on down another mile, another 2 miles down the road. So
Yeah.
It was your own fault.
basically,
I've been there. I've done that over the course of the last week. Hey, no.
quit that goat stretching.
I've peed on somebody's grave, and I have.
That you didn't even know.
Yeah, and then when someone pulled up, they're like, "Whoa, what are you doing peeing in a graveyard?" I was like, "This is my great-great-grandfather, and he was a piece of shit." They're like, "Oh," and then
go
they
ahead.
pulled off.
They pulled it out and beat on it too.
You know what they said? Drop drawers.
Yeah. Then I went and I had to go, and I went into the gas station. It was single stallers, some knockoff gas station, and somebody was in the men's and their shit, and I could hear him just tearing it up. And I just had to pee, and I was like, "Oh my God!" So I just went to the ladies, shut the door, peed, lifted the seat, put it back down, washed my hands, Came out, and there was a lady standing there who needed to go. "Sir, this is the women's restroom." I said, "Listen, bitch, I don't give a damn what it is. I just had to pee." I said, "You'd be real upset if I'd shit it in here. That'd have ruined your whole damn day." So I don't blame you. When you got to go, you got to go.
Well, I tried something. When not this lifetime.
Prayer.
Well, I tried that. And this lifetime, tried it hard. And it worked out. But now a time or two before that, I went in. I don't remember. It might have been a QT, but anyway, I'm like you. Went in there and I didn't really have to go, but I would go. Just in case this didn't happen to me again. But I got in there and there's a fella in there, and like Kay said, he's tearing it up. I mean, it sound like he's I don't know, he's beheading a moose in there. I mean, it's he's all the kind of noise coming out of there. So I got my phone out there and I hit 911, but then I hung up.
Well, they called back.
He just heard me 911, and I acted like I thought on fire. I said, "Is 911? My emergency is I'm at the bathroom at the QT on such road, and in the men's bathroom, and there's a fellow in here, and I think he's gonna need the EMS." And I can hear him being quiet now, trying to listen. I said, "I think he's he might have had I don't know if he had a heart attack or I don't know what happened, but he's in the stall, and I think somebody's gonna need to come and get him out or something." And I can hear him in there now. He's flushing and I'm pulling up his britches and all that. And I said, "Y'all better hurry." I said, "Cause I don't know if he's gonna make it. Hurry!" Then he comes out. He don't wash his hands. No,